Welcome to Evening of Empowerment, the podcast for out-of-school time professionals, educators, and leaders who are passionate about growth, impact, and innovation in education. I'm your host, Richmond Brown, and the founder of Enrich by Richmond, where we're dedicated to inspiring leaders, elevating program quality, and creating enriching experiences for students and staff.
What's going on, powerful and wonderful people? Welcome back to another episode of Evenings of Empowerment, where we gather in this intentional space to truly uplift, reflect, and reimagine while refining what leadership looks like for us in the places that truly matters most. Our classrooms, our schools, our communities, our workplaces, and especially our after-school programs around the world. But before we jump in, I want to share my deepest gratitude with you all for your patience these last 2 weeks. I had to take time for myself as we acknowledge Mental Health Awareness Month, and I wanted to ensure that I was caring for mine as I encourage you in this moment to take care of yours. As leaders, I like to lead by example, and in that, I want to lead also in care for true self. During this time and during this month, it's so important for us to really reflect on what mental health looks like for us, what really is healthy for us as individuals, and truly what do we need to continue to either maintain, sustain, or, elevate where we are. And so I want to say, as leaders, there's so many challenges that we face in our roles, in the work that we do. Then there's factors into the challenges outside of work. And no matter how hard we try to avoid them, we do everything to build the guardrails to ensure things stay on track. The reality is stuff happens. And I want to say, even though stuff happens, it truly builds so much for you, from your story to your professionalism to your capacity, while also giving you inspiration. That stuff that happens is just preparing you for the blessings later. So I'll say all of that to encourage you in this time, as I also encourage myself. I know everybody is going through something, but in that, tonight, we're diving into something that every leader, from a site coordinator, manager, director, chief executive officer, must be thinking about or needs to start thinking about at this time and beyond. It's psychological safety, culturally responsive leadership, and how all of that ties in to create high-performing teams. This is about creating space where people don't just show up, they shine bright like a diamond, in the words of Rihanna. So let's get started. Let's start with the heart of it all, psychological safety. This is something that I've been speaking on a lot lately in my day-to-day because I know how important this is. Psychological safety. Psychological safety is the belief that you can take risks, speak your truth, ask questions, admit mistakes, and offer ideas without fear of punishment or humiliation, or better yet, retaliation. In the expanded learning world, where programs often serve historically marginalized and underrepresented communities, and our staff come from diverse backgrounds, psychological safety isn't an option. It's essential. Here's the truth. Teams that don't feel safe don't grow. Staff who feel judged don't innovate. People who feel silenced don't stay. There's that old saying that people don't leave jobs, they leave bad bosses because they don't feel safe. And I've seen it for myself, and I've heard it so many times before. And I keep doing this work because I want to be a part of the disruption of that narrative. As leaders, the question isn't, how do I get my team to perform better? It's, how do I create the conditions for my team to thrive? And that really starts with you because from there, they'll naturally perform better. I read a post recently that said, when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. That's by Alexander Den H. So, how do we model psychological safety? Here are three simple, powerful ways to start. First, as a leader and for your team, show vulnerability. Tell your team when you don't know something. Admit when you make a mistake, not sometimes, but all of the times. And be willing to truly accept and invite feedback. Be able to say, hey, team, I realize I didn't really communicate that clearly. I do apologize for that. And in that, let me clarify and invite any questions that still may be coming up. Second, as a leader, as you are modeling psychological safety and setting and cultivating that space for your team, you want to invite voice equity in spaces. You want to ask everyone at the table, not just those who always speak, but again, create a space for your team to speak up and also be willing to say, I'd love to hear from the folks who haven't shared. What are your thoughts? It really allows you to get different perspective and also clear understanding from your team. Third, you'll want to celebrate risk taking. I know that sounds so crazy, but again, listen, reward the efforts, not just the outcomes. Celebrate the staff who are truly trying to enrich activities, who are trying to switch things up, even if it flops. They need that encouragement, and I would say that's courage. And in that courage comes growth. So when you lead this way, your team starts to mirror it. And when your team feels safe, they show up not just with the skills, but with their hearts. And remember, you can teach a skill, you can't teach heart. So now let's talk about being culturally responsive as a leader. This is a layer that is very crucial because psychological safety doesn't look the same for everyone. Culture shapes how people communicate, from how they approach to how they respond to others, how they respond to authority, how they navigate conflict, and also how they feel seen or unseen. As leaders in expanded learning, our programs are often the most diverse learning environments in education. It's something that we must embrace daily. And you've heard me say it before, and I will say it many times again. Diversity, that is our superpower if we're intentional. In that, I want to provide you what culturally responsive leadership means to myself. First, it's seeing your team's cultural identities as an asset. Second, it would be being aware of your own cultural lens and biases. And third, I'd say adapting your leadership to truly honor the values, communication styles, and lived experience of those of your teams and also the students that you serve. It means recognizing that equity isn't just in what we say, it's in how we lead. I'd invite you to do two things. First, as a leader, make sure that you're providing yourself that continuous learning and improvements in those areas as you elevate through your leadership. This will allow you to continue an ongoing process that requires continued learning, reflection, and adaptation to meet the needs of your teams that you lead. It allows you to really refine your skills and also allows you to connect with those who you're leading daily. And then second, I would really invite you to check out some resources. And a resource that I would offer is Cultural Focused Teaching, the simple systems to escape classroom management disaster. And this book is by my dear friend, Dr. D. Bell, who I had the honor of working alongside with as a director of culture many years ago. Dr. D is also the founder of Dr. D Unlimited, where she is reframing and is very intentional in how she shares the importance of really connecting with students and sitting with the students to take the time to learn about their life experiences instead of having them just fill out a get to know you. And in that, it creates a space, it cultivates a true safe haven and space of honesty, transparency, and trust, while also a space for understanding one another to continue to build that bridge of connection with those who she served. If you're interested, you can check out that book on Amazon or on your nearest Kindle. Now let's tie all this together and let's talk about how when you create psychological safety and when you become culturally responsive in your leadership, it will help you create the conditions for a high performing team. So let's connect the dots together. To create a high performing team in my world of after schooling and expanded learning, first, you need to foster, again, that psychological safety. Again, you've heard me say it before. I have a dear friend who is a CEO, and he said, and this has stuck with me forever, connection before content, relationship before strategy. Again, that old saying of, how do you teach me when you don't know me? Really resonates heavy. And so, again, being able to create a space where true psychological safety is honored, where those who you serve can grow and thrive, that is the start of creating that high performing team. Second, you must lead with that cultural responsiveness, really being to understand, again, your team's identity and understand where they're coming from, not taking offense or feeling threatened or feeling away by things that they say or do when they don't agree, but truly, truly embracing and leaning into, again, the respective differences as well as a different perspective, and lean in to ask questions to gain clarity and understanding to bring things together. And in that, you create that system of feedback, reflection, and shared ownership where, again, the vision and the mission can be achieved together. So, as you go into your week, start asking yourself, does my team feel like they belong here? Does my staff feel the support I'm providing? Can my team speak their mind even when they disagree with me? Do they see their culture reflected in the ways we lead, plan, and serve students? If the answer isn't yes, it's time to shift and recalibrate. And trust me, when you do, your team will not only perform better, they'll believe more deeply in your mission and they will trust you. They'll lead students to be more authentic in themselves and show up confidently. They'll stay longer and they'll give more each and every day. And in your programs, it'll move from being just a job for some of the people that come into work. It will become a movement, and the people will move in purpose daily. So let's bring to life the cultural responsive leadership framework. And I want to provide you with a simple foundation. First, be aware. Know yourself, what identities and experiences have and how they've shaped your leadership, and also how they shaped those who you lead. Inquire, be curious. What does your team need to feel safe and respected from you as their leader? Action. Adapt your leadership. Again, refine it. Incorporate voice, build structures for inclusion, and honor diverse leadership styles. Don't feel threatened by them. Lean into them and embrace them. And accountability. Set up ways for measuring safety in responsive spaces. Survey, ask those questions in those 101, do a group check-in. Do what really feels best for you in that time and that space, and truly cultivate that space for psychological safety for your team. Again, don't look at this framework as just a checklist. It's truly a practice and a daily commitment. As I close in my final words to you tonight as a leader, while also giving you some words of encouragement and empowerment, you've heard me say before, leadership is a responsibility, and take these words into your responsibility as you continue to lead teams and students around the world. You don't need a new title to lead. You need intention. Psychological safety starts with you. You cultivate that space. Cultural responsive leadership starts with you. You invite that. And the team and the students, your building, your community, they're watching, they're listening, and they're waiting for a leader who creates not just, again, the programs, but true possibilities where they see themselves thriving. So lead boldly, lead responsively, and lead with heart. You're not just running an after-school program, you're not just running a school building, you're not just in charge of people, and you're not just doing a job. You are truly building a legacy, and don't forget it. I want to take this time again to say thank you so much for staying tuned. Thank you for, again, your support. I want you all out there to stay encouraged. For my people in the back, keep standing strong, keep standing tall. And again, thank you so much for spending this evening with me with Evenings of Empowerment. Remember to take care of yourself. Again, do that check-in with you to make sure you're doing good. And for all of my leaders, as we continue to build together, in the next upcoming weeks, you will see at www.enrichbyrichmond.com, there will be a new tab called Resources and Tools. And in there, you will be able to find action plan worksheets and resources, while also a 360 feedback resource that you can refine and create for yourself. There will also be resources where you can find professional psychological safety action plan worksheets and surveys that you can use to start that conversation with your team and really gauge where you are with your team as far as cultivating that space. As always, if this episode sparked something in you, please share with a fellow leader, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep showing up, keep holding space, and remember, empowerment starts with you. Have a good night.